I took on this demolition job when I was getting on my feet, just to cover myself, if you know what I mean. As it's turned out, I've got other projects, straight development, more in my line. Not that this doesn't fit in, it does. Anyway, you've got the plant and equipment, and I've got the contract with the council. Put them together and I dare say we could knock out a bob or two for both of us.
Have you seen who's just come in, Reg? Watch this. You do business with this man and you do no more business with me. And that goes for every other member of the Federation. What was all that about? Demolition and excavation contract for the multi-storey car park. Craig's trying to flog it off on a subcontract. But I've just sewn him up good, Reg. I've put the word round the Federation and no one will touch it.
Watch this. You think you're a fast operator, Tom Craig. But let me tell you, you're not damn well fast enough to slip another one over on me like you did over the football club. From now on, you don't get planning permission to put up a garden shed.
Turn on the electric, Ken. Ken, turn on the electric. It's off at the mains.
I will as soon as I find the bloody switch.
You know what he said to me, that chauffeur? Won the pools, have you, he said. Bloody cheek.
Should have taken a bloody minicab, like I said.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a dog. One of them big black things. What are they called? Labrador.
Oh,
Labrador go really well with that fireplace. I told you taking those shares of Tom Craig's was stupid. You ought to have sold out for cash, like I said.
The shares are all right. It's just that Golden Dream Homes is a private company.
What's that matter?
Like it says, the bank won't accept them as security against further borrowing.
Why not? The football club was a private company, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I had control, didn't I?
What are we going to do, then?
Get some cash off Craig, I suppose.
Mr. Turow's in your office, Mr. Craig.
Ken's back, is he?
Mr. Turowd is demanding to see the books and accounts of Craig's Golden Dream Homes Limited.
He's entitled to. He's the director of the company.
Relating to the Slattery Park Football Club sort.
That's within his rights and all.
But Mr. Craig...
Jamal, you don't look well.
Me, Mr. Craig? I'll assure you.
Peaky. Run down. Off colour.
Mr. Craig...
Take the day off. Go home.
I've a great deal of work before me.
Take it home with you. Take everything home. Files, account books, papers, contracts, all of it. Minutes of meetings, register of shareholders, the lot. And if Mr. Turowd wants to take a look at any of it, tell him it's all with the auditors.
That's what I've told him, Mr. Craig.
Ken!
Great to have you back. You know anything about demolition and excavation?
All you got to do is knock this lot down and cart away the rubble. Then you dig this lot out till you get down to about 120 feet below mean ground level. Cart away what you dig out. Now, there's just one condition. Everything comes out of the car park site, you dump in here.
You got permission to tip in here?
It's a very intelligent question. Told you'd catch on quick.
Well, have you?
I've got plans for this site.
You got permission to tip?
I'm working on it. It's the county authority owns this site.
So?
City council owns the other.
Any other little snags?
Now, Ken, this is a real challenge. You know how difficult it is trying to do business in this town? They got this federation. And now, don't worry, Ken. You're going to make a bomb on this.
You want something? Hi, yo. You want something?
It's Ken. It's Ken to road. My word, if it isn't young Ken.
You're not an easy man to find.
How are you, Ken? What brings you down this part of the world? Oh, this is my partner, Billy Neater. Come in the office. I think I'll put my hands on something a bit cheerful. Come on.
It's when we had the call out, Dennis. That's where I seen him.
You never had one of them motors of us, did you, Ken? That's all right, then. I know I never did one of them motors to a pal.
It was the HP. It was when we was doing the HP.
Yeah, that's right. You remember, Ken. You was working for the finance company we did the business with.
I introduced you to the finance company you did the business with.
Yeah, well, no hard feelings there, Ken. It's water under the bridge, innit? So, what can I do for you?
Demolition.
Demolition? What about it?
Demolition and excavation. I've got the offer of this contract. I want to know if there's any money in it.
Depends on the size of the job.
A big job.
You want me to give you a price on it?
Are you in a position to give me a price?
You've had a look at it.
As I understand it, Mr. Dewar here is prepared to issue you with a licence to use the site for the disposal of building rubble and excavation spoil, providing that planning permission for such use can be obtained from the local authority, that is, the City Council.
That's correct. Now, since county own the site...
The City Council is responsible for the collection of refuse and of transporting it to suitable tipping sites. But the responsibility for its actual disposal is ours. And there's a scarcity of suitable sites. One would have imagined that the city would cooperate in granting the requisite planning permission, without which our ability to dispose of the contents of their dustbins becomes frustrated. But no.
Won't make nothing on the brick. Most of this stuff's rotted.
Won't find no marble in this class of house.
Them grates will fetch, though. Get a £5 apiece on them grates.
If the kids haven't vandalised them.
Little ray of sunshine, honey.
Local residents are able to bring pressure upon councillors, and however desirous may be the council officers to facilitate the likes of us, they're opposite numbers, one might say, here at County Hall.
The objection was to the increase of heavy lorry traffic through Corrington, to noise and smells and rats.
I don't want to dump garbage on the site. I want to dump builders' rubble.
Yes, Mr. Craig, thank you. And that is precisely the point I have to consider in determining whether to favour a second application.
Now, just listen to me, Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hill.
I've got a deal ready to sign on the dotted line with your authority. Lease and option to purchase. All I need from you is permission to fill up that hole. So don't piss me about, Mr. Hall.
Hill.
Get me that piece of paper. Just get me that piece of paper, all right?
In the case of what I may generically describe as builder's waste, the nuisance may be somewhat abated in the eyes of the city authority, though traffic, noise, smells perhaps will still be a factor.
Just one thing. Who's got the contract?
I have.
You have?
Me and my business associate, Tom Craig. The contract's in the name of his firm, but I'm handling the job.
Craig, eh? He's a smart bloke, Craig. I didn't know he was on the council's contractors list. I thought he was in the property game.
Well, he got this contract some time ago. I believe he fixed it up with John Roman.
I suppose it's a yardage contract.
Yardage?
On a yardage contract, you get paid on the quantity of hardcore you shift out.
You run your tipper onto the site, and the excavator loads you up. Then you run your tipper onto the weighbridge, and the weighbridge clerk makes you out a ticket according to the weight of your load. Then at the end of the week, you put it into the town hall and they pay you out. You can do very nicely on a yardage contract. First, you've got to do a bit of business with the tally clerk, see?
This is a bit bigger job than we used to. You'll have to front up on this for us, Ken.
How do you mean?
Down the town hall on account we're not on the approved list.
On the disapproved list, more like.
We couldn't handle the excavation. We're not geared up for it. We'd have to bring a lot of other fellas in.
Sub it out, see?
Subcontracted?
We'll put the word round.
And won't there be trouble over the subcontractors?
Trouble? They'll be coming down from Scotland when they get the word on this lot.
No, I mean from the council.
Oh, well, we'll have to have a bit of a think about that. Leave it with me and Billy, eh, Ken?
Yeah, right. I'll get a copy of the contract of Tom Craig.
You do that, mate. See ya.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Dew.
I don't know whether I should mention this, my friend. The objection to our previous application was raised only by the councillor representing the residents of the Corrington ward, Councillor Kemp. Councillor Mrs. Kemp, I should say.
Bit of a battle axe, is she?
What do you think, Dennis?
What do I think? I'll tell you what I think, Billy boy. I think we've got a little gold mine here.
It's got to be worked right, though.
That's what I'm saying. Worked right, we've got a little gold mine.
Come here. At once. At once. Right. Inside. You first. On you go. Into the kitchen where I can see you. Right. Sit down.
I'm sorry I could make the...
Precisely as I imagined. Overweight, physically unattractive, fairly well dressed, moderately respectable, impotent, I imagine. Well, I hope it feeds your ego to know that the women in this street have been unable to hang out their washing for over 6 weeks because of your activities.
Lady,
Sit down. I'm not going to call the police. Not because I have any sympathy for you, but because I don't have the leisure to get involved in a prosecution. I shall let you go as soon as I discover your identity, but I recommend you to seek treatment immediately. If you need help in contacting a psychiatrist, I'm in a position to help you. Now, who are you? What is your permanent address? Where are you employed?
My name's Tom Craig. Finance and property. I couldn't make the front door bell work.
You could have knocked, couldn't you?
I did.
Well, Mr. Craig, what can I do for you?
As I say, I'm in property and finance.
Yes, I know.
I keep a small permanent staff. When I need an expert, I hire them in. Architects, surveyors, valuers, planning consultants.
You find yourself in need of a business and management consultant?
I do.
I don't know whether I can help. My practice is only part-time at present.
I don't need anyone full-time.
I've never handled a property company. But let's go next door. I'll run my consultancy from home. The living room's my office.
This is where I started. A street like this.
You mean you lived here?
Buying up freeholds. Pull in here a minute. A purna bashao shaftamanu shkojuntake. Can't speak to the people, you can't do business with them. I was asking them how many they got in their houses. I'm telling you, when I started working in these places, they were mainly single occupant dwellings. The odd widow or widower hanging on to the fag end of a lease. Like young people wouldn't look at them the state they were in. Now, you get the immigrant family, don't you? Never less than 6 in a house. See what I mean? Maximise use, you maximise profit.
And what happened to the old people?
Well, they'll have moved on, won't they? 15 acres I got here. 15 acres. Before I took the football club over, it was being used less than 20 hours a week.
And how many hours is it being used now?
Ah, but it's the potential, isn't it? Here we got a problem. 9 acre site, nothing in the structure plan against development. It's classed as derelict land. Access to main trunk roads, motorway less than 2 miles off. There's only one drawback. It's got that bloody great hole in the middle of it. Now, I'm prepared at no cost to the county authority to fill this hole level. But can I do that? No, I can't. Because the city council has decided this land should not be used as a tip. This land is to remain derelict.
There are the local residents to be considered.
Never mind. I'll put in a bid to the county for a long-term lease on this site, with an option to purchase. You know why? I have a lot of faith in people's common sense. I didn't just pick you out of the yellow pages, you know. A lot of people speak very highly of you. What do you make of the university? Part-time there and all, aren't you?
There's only one reason why a property developer should approach me, and that is because of my connection with local government.
Local government?
Oh, come off it. You know perfectly well that I represent the Corrigton ward on the council, and that it was I who objected to the use of this site as a tip.
You a councillor? Well, I'm blowed.
All this has been most instructive, Mr. Craig. Thank you so much. Can I drop you off at your office?
No way, mate. This here's a non-runner.
What do you mean?
Well, for starters, it's a fixed price job instead of being on yardage. And it's all split up in stages. Graduated payments according to rate of completion, see? You'd be laying your money out, then you'd be hanging about till Christmas comes on a Friday before you'd ever see it back again. Then to top it off, you've got your quantity survey. You've got your inspection clause. And if that doesn't put you off, you've got your penalties. You've got a right shocker here, Ken, and no mistake.
You mean there's no money in it?
Money in it? You'll be lucky not to end up owing them. Whoever's lumbered you with this lot's no friend of yours, believe me. What are you going to do then?
What do you think? Rung it back at Craig. Bloody con artist, he must think I'm thick or something.
Hang on a minute, Ken. Let's not be hasty. We might just work it.
He's thinking about Marky. Let's write on it in. Marky, eh?
Let's pop down the old office and have a natter. Get the old brains working, eh, Ken?
It's not a question of whether I use it, it's what you're going to put in its place. It'll look really unsightly, a great hole there in the kitchen where it went.
I'll buy you a new one.
I don't want a new one. If you're going to go around buying dishwashers, you might just as well buy one for this other person and leave mine where it is.
No, well, there I've got a problem. This is a very funny woman. She'll take a second-hand dishwasher off me. If I go out and order her a brand new one, she'd just likely sling it back in my face.
I don't know. When your father and me were caught in, it was flowers and boxes of chocolates. Dishwashers, really.
Right, don't wait up for me. I might get an invitation to do the washing up.
There's only one way you're going to get out of this one, Ken, and that's to get that contract changed.
How can I do that? It's not even in my name.
Don't matter.
You're going to have to put a bit of money about, Ken. It's a funny old business we're in. If you want to make a lot of money, it's got to be worked right. And one of the first things you've got to do is to get that contract off your friend, Craig.
Take it over, you mean?
You've got to get the contract put into your name so you can sub it out.
Yardage, then?
Right. It's got to be on yardage. So the fellas who are doing the subcontracting can make their bit.
And you can get yours.
That's all there is to it. You go down to the town hall, you do the business with the fella down there, you get a contract with your name on it, he gives you a yardage contract, then you get the OK to subcontract. You're in business. You're laughing.
You're laughing? All the way to the bank?
How much is this bit of business going to cost me?
A monkey.
£500.
That's just to get you talking.
And who is it I've got to see about it?
You'll have to let me do the business. He's not going to go talking to strangers, is he? All right, Ken, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll both go down there. We'll go into his office and you give him the monkey. Then you wait outside while I do the business.
And how much would you want?
All depends, doesn't it? After all, it's your contract. All Billy and me be looking for would be a decent carve-up when it came to subbing out.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
All right, we'll leave it at that, Ken.
All right, cheers.
Ta-ra, mate.
How are you going to get off with it?
Get off with what?
Get off with the money. With you in the bloke's office and him sitting on the door. How are you going to get off with the money without our friend tumbling?
Are you daft? Do you think I'm going to pinch his money off him?
You're never going to try and do the business without Marky, are you?
Why not?
Well, Marky won't like it for a start, you leaving him out. And you don't know who's the right bloke to do the business with.
That's where you're wrong. It's the clerk of the works, innit?
How'd you suss that out?
I got it off Marky, off one of his heavies.
He's not going to like it. I'm just saying, you going down the town hall, Marky's not going to like it.
I've sold that bloody great hole in the ground. I've sold it. Molly! Yeah, these Germans, you know what time they get to their offices? 7 a.m, 7 o'clock in the morning.
I do wish you wouldn't shout, Mr. Craig.
These are me notes. Get them typed up for Jamal, will you?
Writing, honest.
And once you've typed those up, I want you to get out a heads of agreement. We'll look it over after lunch and send it over by courier service.
We don't own that site, Mr. Craig. It might take months.
It won't take months. How's Mr. Turode getting on, by the way?
He's asked me for £500, Mr. Craig. And he wants us to assign him our contract with the council.
Oh, fair enough. Take care of it, will you? Has the bloke at County Hall applied for planning permission to let him tip?
Not as far as I know, Mr. Craig, no.
Well, stir him up then. We'll sign the lease with County anyway. Get him to put in a clause making it subject to our obtaining planning permission for an industrial development. Then prepare an application for an outline planning permission and put it into Hinckley. When you've done that, you can work on a proposition to put up for development finance.
What's the nature of the industry?
Chemicals. Brax Chemicals. They've already got a plant here, which is why they favour this area. What's the matter?
Well, the site's in a residential area.
Well, so what? It's a modern plant. You don't get smoke belching out of chimneys nowadays. It's no problem.
Mr. Craig, you propose to enter into agreements to provide a site for a chemical plant on land which we don't own, in a hole in the ground, where tipping is at present forbidden, on which there's no planning permission and which is largely residential. And you suggest I put this forward as a serious proposition to prospective financiers?
Come on, Jamal. Think positive. You're wasting your life, and you know it.
I have a number of responsibilities.
Your kids.
They're the biggest ones, yes.
And what are you giving them? You never get a chance to spend any time with them. You're too busy cooking and washing for them. I'm telling you, for your own good. You've got to break out of it.
Easier said than done.
I can use you, and I'm willing to pay. There's my offer. I'm in no hurry. Read it and think it over. Now, I think you mentioned coffee.
If you wouldn't mind getting the cups out. In the cupboard.
Anyone can make a mistake, Ken.
I'll have that 500 back, please.
There must be another way of working it. But I'd have to go to a fella I'd rather not go to, if you see what I mean.
Dennis, I'll have that 500 quid back, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Will he give me the needle proper talking to me like that?
Now look here, Dennis.
Oh, God.
Don't you try pulling a fast one on me.
I haven't got it. I left it in his office on his desk. I know I'm asking a favour, I said. Use your love, Ken. Do you know the man? Does he know you? So what are you going to tell him?
Connect my name with it. Are you thick or something? My name's plastered right across the top of the contract.
You're right, you got a point there. I ought to have spotted that one, I'm sorry.
Sorry. You just about put me out of business and you're sorry.
The stupid sod tried to cold me. Just a cowboy. But I've straightened him out. I'm in contact with a man, can fix it up. No more trouble.
I'm to take your word for that, am I?
I don't see as you've got much choice but take my word for it. Do it my way or scrub the contract. Pay out on the penalties and leave the site like it is. I'll take the contract off you. Transfer it to my own firm and you stay out of it. You'll have to sign some papers.
Come down to the office in the morning.
Right. Something else. It's going to cost a bit.
It's not my problem. If you couldn't see money in it, you wouldn't be talking.
I need cash up front. All I've got are those Golden Dream Home shares, and the bank won't lend money on them.
Is that what's bothering you? I'll take those shares off you. Be glad to if it'll help you out.
How much would they be worth?
It's hard to say. Private company, there's no quotation. I'll get Jamal to work out a figure.
I'd soon have an independent valuation, if you don't mind.
Yes, of course, certainly. I'll get Jamal to prepare the books and accounts. Ta-da, Jean.
You must come over for a bite of supper sometime, Tom.
Love to. Give you a ring, love.
You stupid bastard.
Come on, Jean. You saw the way I handled Craig. He was as good as gold.
Demolition and excavation. Next thing we'll have tipper trucks parked outside in the drive for all to see.
There's a lot of money in it, Jeannie.
told you he wasn't going to like it. I told you, Mark, he wouldn't like it.
Hello, Marky. How are you, mate? All right. This is a mate of mine.
Your property, I think. I got a bit of trouble with the contract. Pity you didn't come to see me, Mr. Turode. A great pity. Now, you may be asking yourself, why do I need Mr. Marks? Well, all I can say is my knowledge of the business and my contacts with certain people put me in a position to enable me to smooth your path and avoid the possibility of misunderstandings.
Ah, well...
Misunderstandings of the sort which I believe have already occurred.
Now, wait a minute, Marky.
No need to explain further, Dennis, my friend. We all make mistakes in this life.
No, Mr. Craig. I haven't made up my mind, I'm afraid. You're really asking me to make two decisions. One is about my objection to your tipping on the site we visited the other day. The other about accepting a retainer as your consultant. We do agree that those are quite separate decisions, don't we?
That's right. Completely unconnected.
Good. Now, regarding the consultancy, since this will let me give up teaching and devote more time to my practice and to politics, which is my real interest in life, I may say, this is an important decision for me.
Right.
Since you can't sign the lease which County is offering without undertaking to fill and level the site, which I understand to be one of the conditions, my decision about whether to object to the tipping becomes an important decision for you.
Right. So what conclusion have you come to?
None. Unfortunately, although you and I agree that the two decisions have nothing to do with each other, there's bound to be someone who'll say that my taking your retainer and my withdrawing my objection are closely bound up together. I can't afford for anyone to have the opportunity of saying that kind of thing about me.
How about if I sign the contract first?
I'm afraid you've created a problem for yourself. I'm sorry I'm unable to solve it for you. Even in return for a second-hand washing machine.
Dishwasher.
You will get this moved away, won't you? Our refuse disposal service is heavily overstrained, as I'm sure you'll appreciate. Thank you so much.
You don't want to share the contract yourself?
I'm just a negotiator, Mr. Turode. A go-between, if you like. A necessary go-between, I might say. I've heard it remarked in these parts, you don't do business with market. You don't do business at all. Quite neatly put, I thought, when it was repeated to me. No, I'll make it a rule never to act as a principal. I suffer with my nerves. I couldn't stand the worry of it. But to get down to business, I will gladly negotiate with the gentleman at the town hall on your behalf for my usual fee.
And that is?
After deductions of my overheads and expenses, we split the remainder down the middle. Half for you and half for me. My usual terms, Mr. Turode. I never depart from them. Fair and equitable, I regard them. Not many people refuse them.
Not Craig himself, naturally. He got Kenter out to handle it for him, apparently. And Ken sent some idiot in. To look for the poor engineer, I suppose.
That should put the mockers on his contract, all right?
And that should put the mockers on his deal with Brax and all.
His deal with what?
Brax Chemicals. Craig's put in an application for outline planning permission to develop Spook's Hole for Brack's Chemicals.
Stop it. Kill it. Stop it dead.
I shouldn't worry, old chap. He's never going to get permission to tip there. And he Chem's blocked the application every time it's come up. It'll stay like it is. A hole in the ground.
Maybe, but just you make sure he doesn't get planning permission to develop it.
Of course he won't get planning permission. It's a residential area.
Just you make sure, Reg.
Don't worry. He's managed wood at the moment, anyway. I know we sometimes don't see eye to eye over things, Mrs. Kemp, but I want you to know that on the Spook's Hole matter, I'm 100% behind you.
Behind me?
I support your objection to allowing dumping on that site.
Really? I find that rather surprising. You were awfully cross with me when I objected last time.
Different state of affairs altogether. That was an application for dumping household refuse.
I'm getting confused. You approve of dumping household refuse, garbage, but you don't approve of dumping building rubble and hardcore, excavation spoil, subsoil, earth, rocks.
Well, no. I mean, yes. Household refuse is...
malodorous, attracts flies, breeds disease, a health hazard?
Presents a serious disposal problem. Awful problem. Can't get rid of the stuff. Terrible problem. No sites available whatsoever.
I see. So you want me to oppose the application to dump builder's rubble so that the site will remain unfilled?
Yes, absolutely.
So that you can dump household refuse in it?
No. Oh, no, absolutely not.
Very well, Mr. Palmer. I'll bear in mind what you say when the application comes before the committee.
It's not just the planning department which is opposed. Environmental health people will be up in arms at the mere suggestion.
That's too bad, Morris. It means they'll go to Nottingham.
Nottingham?
Bracks are looking for a site to centralise their entire UK operation. Close down all their old plants and move everything. Works, research laboratories, offices, into one big site. Mean a payroll of around 3,000 employees. Huge capital investment, of course. And you can imagine what it'll do for the rates income. Nottingham would tear down their new town centre if they thought they could persuade Bracks to go there.
We're far better situated than Nottingham. Better road and rail communications. We're nearer to an international airport. Our labour resources are better, our housing's better, our rates are lower.
That's as may be, Morris. But Nottingham will offer us planning permission and you won't.
You got a site at Nottingham?
I've got to deal with Bracks. Sites aren't difficult to come by.
And anyway, the whole thing's academic, Morris. I've made sure that the county application for Craig to tip rubble will be turned down. You what? I talked to Annie Kemp. She'd quite like to have spoken up for it, you know, just to be awkward. Troublemaker, that woman. And of course, I've told Hinckley to reject Craig's application out of hand. Bloody cheek you've got. A chemical factory, honestly.
I want that application approved. Huh? Did you hear what I said?
Yes, Morris.
And the application to tip. Approve it.
Yes, Morris.
You're not putting in an application to the council planning committee?
No, Mr. Craig. Mrs. Kemp...
Mr. Dewar's application will not have to go before the council planning committee, Mr. Craig.
Oh? Why's that?
Because I've withdrawn my objection. It'll be approved without delay.
Well, that's great news. Dewar told you I've just concluded negotiations with the county authority to take out a lease on this site with an option to purchase, did he?
I did mention it to Mrs. Kemp, yes.
My reason for withdrawing my objection was that tipping will be restricted to builder's rubble and hardcore.
Of course, there will still be considerable heavy lorry traffic through Corrington.
It will not be carrying household refuse, upon which my original objection was based. And besides, I was able to secure some very important assurances from the county authority that will be included in the planning order.
What kind of assurances?
That when the site has been filled and levelled, it'll be grassed over and restricted to use as recreational green space. The people of Corrington will be entitled to that amenity, don't you think? After having had to put up with those heavy lorries of yours, Mr. Craig.
I'm not bothered about a restriction on the planning consent. I have a word with county. They'll apply to have it set aside, which we will duly grant. It'll be your planning application for Bracks that she can cause trouble.
But you can't stop it on her own.
Of course not. And he'll get Percy Fielding and his department stirred up. That'll bring the whole environmental lobby out against us.
Fielding?
Yeah, he chairs the Health and Housing Committee, which covers environmental health. He's an ecology freak, so she can certainly make a lot of trouble there. And then there are our own electors. That means public protests. That gets to the media. And before you can stop it, it's blown up into a really embarrassing issue.
Yeah, and it gets a load of publicity.
Of course. She isn't exactly bashful, you know.
I think you ought to get shot at Percy Fielding.
Getting rid of Percy won't stop Annie if she's really out for blood. There are still his departmental officials, and he's infused a lot of the party group. I can't afford...
You wouldn't have any trouble if you appointed the right person to replace him.
Yes, but who could I possibly find? Now, Mrs. Kemp, there are two ways of succeeding in politics. One is to crawl to your party leaders. The other is to become a nuisance to them.
And the third is to become a threat to their leadership.
All right, Mrs. Kemp. You put one over on Reg Parlour. Let's talk about your nuisance value from here on.
I owe it to the people of my ward to show that I'm prepared to stand up for their right to minimum amenities.
You don't consider the provision of jobs for several thousand workers of greater importance?
The voters who elected me are unlikely to find themselves on a factory shop floor.
That's a very narrow view to take.
My present position in the party group restricts me to the view of an ordinary councillor representing the interests of her electors in the chamber and on committee.
I see. I wonder how we could get you to take an interest in the affairs of the community as a whole, rather than just those of your own ward.
Were I able to initiate and implement policies on one of the committees, rather than merely supporting or opposing the initiatives of others, I would, of course, take a less partisan view of the matters which came before me.
Alternatively, you might be tempted to make an even greater nuisance of yourself than you do now. All right, Mrs. Kemp. I've had a word with Percy Fielding. He feels he'd be of more use running education. I'd like you to accept the chair of the Health and Housing Committee. A special brief will be to see that the Brax Chemical Company project goes through without obstruction from the Environmental Health Department officers.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. I'll consider your offer and let you know my decision as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mrs. Kemp.
I'm so sorry. She's usually reliable. I'm sure she won't be long. And whose brilliant idea was it to offer me the Health and Housing Committee?
Maurice and I both want the Brax deal to go through smoothly.
And when it has? Oh, that'll be the sitter now. Excuse me.
Never mind.
Next.
If one takes the case of the Brack project, your interest as developer and our interests, the city's interest, are the same.
County too, for that matter.
Certainly, but they don't have the pressures on them that we do. The people who elect us are, generally speaking, the bigger ratepayers. The rate contribution which will be coming in from Brax when their plant is completed is large enough to make the difference to our party being in or out at the next local government elections. So, you can understand why you're getting our support and assistance in pushing it through. As I'm sure you'll agree, it all comes down to money in the end.
Just a minute. I think you're forgetting something.
Ah, your share of the takings. Unfortunately, my expenses have been exceptionally heavy, Mr. Terode. I am, in fact, showing a small loss on the transaction. However, I am prepared to overlook it. Swings and roundabouts, Mr. Terode. Swings and roundabouts.
Jock, Chewie, in here.
we'll just count it out, shall we? Come here, boys, will you? You've a long journey ahead of you. Here's something for your refreshment on the way. I know the demolition business is new to you, Mr. Terode. Keep in touch. I shall be most interested to know how you're getting on.
Don't worry, Cock. We've still got to taste a piece of the contract. We can make money. Me and Billy will be backing you up. Hang on a minute, Ken, we're partners. Me and Billy will look after you. Just a minute, Ken, we're partners.
I'll have cheese.
I'd like to make one thing perfectly clear. As long as your interests and my public duty don't come into conflict, I can see no problems arising out of my collaboration with you. But should a conflict occur, I should have to ask you to release me from my contract with you.
No, of course. It goes without saying. But why should it?
There's something else I'd like to say. For your own good, Tom. You may have noticed that I've treated you with a certain amount of suspicion. Yes. And this has been entirely your own fault. I'm fairly sure that in your own mind you've had the notion all along that you could obtain my cooperation by offering me inducements. You'd have saved yourself a great deal of time, and me some degree of anxiety, had you been more open and straightforward. I hope you'll remember that in the future. I have here a list of questions I'd like answered by your accountant. They mainly concern company structure and disposition of assets.